In financial services, the margin for error is slim. Banks that can deliver a superior customer experience will gain a significant edge over competitors. When customers have an issue, an institution that can respond quickly by leveraging an AI-enabled workflow will greatly improve customer service while dramatically lowering costs. A powerful combination. Hi, I'm Stan Gibson for CIO Marketing Services, and I'll be your host and moderator for this video on demand webcast. Joining me to take a close look at the customer service challenges that banks are facing and how a multi-agentic approach can resolve issues faster and more economically are two experts. Shashank Pandey, Solutions Architect at MongoDB. Welcome, Shashank. It's great to have you here for this webcast.
Thanks, Stan. Great to be here. I am Shashank Pandey, a solution architect at MongoDB. I work closely with banks, fintech, ISV OEMs, and technology partners to design modern and AI-driven customer service platforms. So I'm excited to talk today about how agentic AI, when combined with right data and streaming foundation, can dramatically improve complaint resolution system in banks.
Also with us is Scott Sappenfield, Partner Solutions Engineer at Confluent. Welcome, Scott. Glad you could join us today.
Thank you, Stan. It's a pleasure to be here. And I would like to echo what Shashank said. I'm on a similar role here at Confluent, and I'm looking forward to this conversation.
Well, before we dive into our discussion, just a quick word to you and our audience. You can find links and documents relating to today's topic in the resources area on your screen, so please take a look there at any time. We are all bank customers, and sometimes we have questions, issues, or complaints. Too often, we're put on hold and have to wait our turn to have an experience that is often far from satisfying. Scott, just what happens when a customer calls a bank?
Yes, we are all indeed customers. And I also used to work in banking IT for close to a decade across payment systems, information security, and investment banking. And like most large organizations, many banks rely on legacy architectures full of disconnected systems and applications. So when a customer calls in, the agent is essentially navigating a maze of systems: CRM, ticketing, core banking, and even fraud systems. And many of these just don't talk to each other cleanly. Confluent and MongoDB are changing that giant mesh of monolithic point to point connections so that when a customer calls in, the agent spends time actually resolving the issue, not context hunting. But Stan, I would say better yet than that, the customer ideally doesn't even have to call in because agents are already working on any problems that come up in real time on fresh data, and the problem solved before the customer needs to even engage with the bank. That's the ideal situation we're heading towards.
And to add to that, when a customer contact a bank with an issue, right, what seems like a simple request can often trigger a complex backend flow. So the system typically needs to pull data from multiple sources. If you talk about some customer profiles or transaction related data or historical data, so basically system pulls data from different sources, and that leads to stale context or long wait time and multiple hands off, and it results in inconsistent response, and basically that's why customer experiences often fall short. So just added there.
Yeah, Shashank, maybe you could drill down just a little further on some of those sticking points. It sounds like pulling in data from a variety of sources is kind of a major one. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely. I mean, we consistently see three major, sticking points, you can say. The first is basically lack of real-time context. So suppose if multiple systems are connected through batch processing, or you can say point-to-point integration, it's basically when you are talking about a real-time context, it often results in outdated information. And secondly, security and governance challenges. As more system and AI models need access to sensitive data, access control and compliance become very hard to manage. And If you talk about the major point, which is a innovation friction, because its tightly coupled architecture makes it slow and very risky to introduce new AI models or workflow, which limits how fast bank can innovate. These are the typical workflow, and these are the key sticking points related to this topic.
Scott, do you agree?
Yeah, and if I may add one more thing on there too, that was a great list. I think weak security and governance is also a pretty notorious sticking point, if you will. So as more and more systems connect, controlling that data lineage, access, and auditability becomes nearly impossible a lot of times. So, like Sashank said, all of these just add up to slow service and inconsistent experiences and really escalating costs for everyone involved.
So, how does the MongoDB Confluent solution address these issues, Shashank?
Yeah, so let me walk you through how MongoDB and Confluent can address these challenges together. So as you can see at the core of the architecture, we have MongoDB Atlas, which acts as the system of record and shared source of truth. So I talked about multiple sources, right? So we'll keep MongoDB Atlas at the center to have all the sources information there, and it stores like customer tickets and transaction context, resolution history, and also as we are talking about agentic AI here, so we can store vector embeddings in flexible document model in MongoDB Atlas. Uh, so on the top, that sits the AI processing layer, which includes semantic search and retrieval augmented generation, all of which rely on MongoDB as a shared memory. Surrounded surrounded this is Confluent Cloud, which provides the real-time event backbone. So if you see, all the event is flowing through Confluent Link, and then we are propagating into different agents there. And we have also incorporated Voyage AI capabilities to have embeddings stored in MongoDB Atlas. Uh, and also, MongoDB change stream publish event into Confluent Kafka, which triggers AI agent instantly. So this shift bank from brittle point-to-point workflow to a loosely coupled and event-driven and scalable architecture.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. The real-time event backbone is the key language there, and I think this pretty much summed it up. MongoDB, a new ticket, status update, resolution, all of those are events and processed exactly once. So these AI agents operate on the freshest, most trustworthy data set. From Confluent's perspective, Flink is coordinating the entire flow in real time, ingesting the ticket event, running intent classification, invoking semantic search, and feeding the results into a retrieval augmented generation step, all with sub-second latency and exactly once guarantees. Again, all in combination with MongoDB using the services that Shashank has laid out previously.
Scott, how does AI and agentic AI in particular factor in?
Sure. So when people talk about AI, terms get conflated or they're talking about different things entirely. Lots of terms get overloaded, but here's how I might think about it. The first wave most of us experienced was predictive or analytical AI, that being models that score risk, detect fraud, or forecast outcomes. More recently, we've all used generative AI, where a single model generates text or answers questions based on a prompt. And that's powerful, but it's mostly reactive. You ask and you get answers. Agentic AI is the next step. Instead of one model responding to a prompt, you orchestrate multiple specialized agents that can observe events, retrieve context, make decisions, and ultimately take action, and this is important, continuously and in near real time. That's the shift we're really talking about here. But that's a lot of words for someone. So, what I might say to even make it shorter in an elevator is regarding these most two recent innovations is if generative AI answers questions, then agentic AI runs workflows. So that's maybe how I would sum that up. And so this is where MongoDB and Confluent come together. MongoDB provides a lot of memory and semantic understanding that those agents rely on. And Confluent's providing the event driven environment where those agents can operate and coordinate.
Shashank, anything to elaborate here?
Uh, from the MongoDB perspective, agentic AI becomes powerful when agents share a common and trusted context. So, if you talk about each agents can focus on specific tasks, such as classification or response generation, but all the agents read and write through MongoDB in this use case. This provides consistency and low latency, which is a very critical requirement in a regulated banking environment.
Scott, back to you. Can you tell us how streaming agents on Confluent Cloud work?
Sure. So streaming agents on Confluent Cloud let you build AI agents that react to events the moment they happen. They unify Flink stream processing with inference, tool use, embeddings, and external systems, with all of it running continuously with replay, observability, security, those features built in. Think of it as a new way to orchestrate agentic AI, where Flink's providing the runtime where agents live, and each agent has things at its disposal like inference capabilities, MCP integrations, built-in machine learning, and observability. Now, to me, this slide, and especially in that context, is really about powering these multi-agentic AI applications. And this happens by leveraging MongoDB's innovations with Confluent's integration capabilities. And as Shashank has said before, MongoDB Voyage AI has advanced embedding models for semantic search, powers RAG capabilities, and provides a lot of contextual understanding. And MongoDB Atlas stores vector embeddings, has a very flexible document model, and automatic scaling. And finally, MongoDB's MCP server is great for external tool invocation, and that has a seamless integration with MongoDB. And so Flink connects directly to MongoDB powered AI applications, like this multi-agentic AI application use case that we're discussing here. Taking a look at this slide a little bit more closely and hitting on a couple of things that Shashank talked about earlier, I'd like to point out embeddings and vector search in MongoDB powered by Voyage AI that gives these agents a precise understanding of customer intent and historical relevance. The retrieval augmented generation pipelines, also known as RAG pipelines, those ground responses in bank specific data, which is critical for both accuracy and compliance. And these multi agentic workflows break the problem into specialized tasks, much like human beings would do on very hard problems, very large problems, very complex problems. Multi agentic systems also use many agents for the same reason. Not one human being would solve one's entire problem by themselves. And that would be classification, search, decisioning, and resolution. And rather than relying on one monolithic model, MongoDB and Confluent can use multiple implementations. And Confluent streaming platform here keeps all of these agents synchronized with fresh real-time context. So these decisions happen as the events unfold, not hours or days after the fact.
Shashank, over to you. Now, is there a way of measuring the performance improvement of the MongoDB Confluent approach?
Yes, Stan. Banks measure this very clearly. First, time to resolution. We see uh, routine cases drop from 5 weeks to under 20 minutes through autonomous AI resolution. Uh, and secondly, if we talk about automation rate, around 20 to 30% of customer inquiries are handled end to end without any human involvement. This enhance the customer experiences as well. If you talk about the third point, here is operational efficiency. Response time improves by roughly around 50%, and overall efficiency increases up to 95%. That's really depends on use case to use case, and how you are training your model, and how you are keeping your data consistent throughout the system. Additionally, the platform supports sub-second processing latency, scale from dozen to thousands of concurrent cases, and generates automated audit trail for compliance. So yeah, that's it. These are the performance metrics and results. But basically, if you talk about different use cases, it's purely depend on how you have data stored in your shared memory.
And these are the kind of numbers that get banks and large enterprises excited, specifically about exploring these multi-agentic systems. It's because the economics really shift dramatically. So it gets people pretty excited about this, knowing that their mileage can vary based on what they actually implement. But this is exactly why people get excited about this.
So, Scott, how can members of our audience get started with the MongoDB Confluent solution?
Okay, so I think the best thing to do to get started is literally just do that. Get started. You can start with a free MongoDB Atlas instance and environment, and similarly start with a free Confluent Cloud environment and try one of the quick start AI blueprints that we've published. They show this exact architecture in action. And so these give teams a working real time plus AI pipeline immediately. And you can also access the blog post referencing this specific architecture on MongoDB's website.
Shashank, any suggestions?
There are multiple technical blogs around Mongo and Confluent, and AI blueprints available. Like Scott mentioned, like we have quick starts on different use cases that walk through this architecture also in more details. So you can start with building small AI agents using our quick starts.
Sounds like good advice. We are nearing the end of our time, but before we close, what should members of our audience keep in mind? Scott, perhaps you'd like to go first.
Yeah, sure thing. So I won't narrate this entire slide to you, but a few key takeaways beyond this just one use case on architecture is we are really well and closely integrated partners. MongoDB and Confluent make it easy architecturally. It's also super easy to get started. The quick starts and projects are built out, showcasing everything you need to get going and show value immediately. And finally, this might be easy to start, which is why I encourage you to do so, but it's also good, just good for your skill building and career. It shows that you're not just thinking about using AI, but you know how to use it at internet scale. And so just getting started and using these toolkits is really a big takeaway that we want to leave you with. Anything else, Shashank?
Yeah, basically MongoDB and Confluent together provides that foundation for everyone who want to start small and measure impact and scale confidently using these use cases. We have provided different quick starts, and particularly this story where we have focused on agentic AI. So uh, it really provides a great foundation to start using agentic AI infrastructure.
Well, thanks very much, Shashank and Scott. That is all the time we have in this video on demand webcast. Sincere thanks to our two experts, Shashank Pandey of MongoDB and Scott Sappenfield of Confluent, for explaining the challenges that banks face in delivering an outstanding customer experience and for explaining how the multi-agentic architecture of MongoDB and Confluent can deliver the deeply informed, highly responsive experience that banking customers want and deserve. For additional information, including links and documents of interest, please do take a look in the resources area on your screen. Thanks for joining us. For MongoDB, Confluent, and CIO, I'm Stan Gibson.